I've got no idea what I'm going to be talking about. It's the usual here. I decided I'd put out some live vibes. So I talk a lot about energy stuff. So today, let's just do some. If you're watching this, let's do some energy. Let's create some space. Let's have some fun. That is the plan, my Jedi friends. So what your attention is drawn towards, you'll get more of. So we are going to manifest more of something good right now. Right now, I'm going to create a space for a bit of fun, a bit of lightheartedness, a bit of higher vibes. Higher vibes. So I work with energy. I show people how to use it. I show people how to access better energy. I show people the esoteric side of things. But also there's a very practical element to energy because let's face it, you don't need to be a Jedi master to know what good vibes are or good energy is. If you spend time with people that are fun, uplifting, and they're on your vibe, then you will be energizing. You will be receiving good energy. So they're good vibes. So you don't need to be trained in any particular system to actually experience what it's like to have your vibe raised. So the techniques I teach are to stack the deck in your favor. So stick with people that uplift your energy. But what we're going to do now, let's do something very practical. Let's do something practical, my Jedi friends. So we're going to ground ourselves first. Now, grounding is like an anchor in a storm for a ship. It's always a good idea if things are starting to, well, it's just a good idea anyway, unless you actually need to be somewhere. If you're staying the night in a port, then the anchor's a good idea. That's the same sort of thing here. So to ground yourself, there's lots of different techniques. Let's just take one. Let's take one technique to ground you. So energy follows thought. So that's the critical thing. So it doesn't really matter how you do it, as long as the principle is there. What you're doing is connecting your energy to that of the earth. And the way that I do that, I just imagine a ball of light at the center of the earth, connecting to the base of my spine. Now, just thinking that grounds me because energy follows thought. So that's me grounded, and that's you grounded if you've listened to this instruction, because in order to listen to the instruction, you have to think about it, and in thinking about it, you're grounded because energy follows thought. So that is the thing. We're now grounded. I've shown you how to ground. Maybe you've got your own way to ground. That's the first thing. Now we're going to put out the vibe of something more fun to uplift us, to raise our vibe. Set that intention right now, and it will start to happen, my Jedi friends. So I've got YT Zanki has joined me, the first person to comment on the thread. Well, hello, YT Zanki. Hi to you, my Jedi friend. Great for you to join me. I've got Kringle has said hi as well. Well, thank you. 2 Jedi friends have joined the vibe. So what we're doing, just if you're late to the party, we're setting the space to raise our vibe. That's what this live thread is all about. So you grounded yourself, and if you don't know how to ground, just imagine a ball of light at the center of the earth and a light cord connecting to the base of your spine. And just by thinking about it, you're grounded. And now we're setting the intention that we're going to have a high vibe. We're going to have some fun. We're going to uplift the energy on this stream, my friends. So there was no actual plan for this stream. So it's really just to show you how to raise your vibration. And if you've done what I've told you to do, you'll do that just through listening. I've got some hearts coming in. That's always a winner. Why, thank you, my Jedi friends. Thank you for joining in with the hearts. And to the 2 legends have already liked this stream. Thank you. I did notice, though, I was on a live stream the other day, and I think about 9 people liked it. And then when it went live, it went back to 0. That wasn't very fair. YouTube's not very fair. They are unfair. YouTube, you are not very nice. You're unfair on the live stream. So it seems like I have to start from scratch again after the live thing. So we're holding the space here. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what YouTube do. It doesn't matter what they think. We're here to raise the vibration, to raise your vibration. And you do that by focusing on raising your vibration. So when we work with energy, there's a thing called energy follows thought. What you think about more of, you energize. And it is that simple at its core. There's lots of nuance in the teachings and what can happen with that, but that's the fundamental of working with energy. And Kringle says, haha, very unfair. Absolutely. You've got an unfair advantage because we're going to be focused on positive things. Now, that doesn't mean that we might not get a few non-positive topics or people on this thread. It doesn't really matter. I'm here just to demonstrate to you how we can navigate this stuff and raise our vibe. I've got Kose on who says hi. Well, hi, Kose. Thank you for joining the thread. Thank you for joining the comments. Everybody's welcome to comment. So we're all here to raise our vibration. And to those that are late to the party, we've grounded ourselves and we're setting the intention for a positive vibe, which means that just by staying here and grounding yourself, your vibration will raise, because that's the intention I've put into this live stream. I've got Kiwi in the house. Hello, Kiwi. Thanks for joining us. And Kiwi says hi. The cat has said hi. I think the cat wants to get out. Look, the cat wants to get out. I shut the door. That's the cat saying hi. The cat wants to get out of the door, so I better let the cat out. Not out of the bag, out of the door. I'm going to let the cat out the door. The cat wants to leave. Oh, now that I've opened the door, the cat's curious. I think it wants to be part of the live stream. It's tuned into the energy and the vibration. And looks typical. Now that I've opened the door, the cat doesn't want to go out. So that's an interesting thing because energy, pets are really sensitive to it. When you start working with energy and vibrations, like pets, I'm like Ace Ventura, they come out of the woodwork. It really works well with animals and pets. Kiwi says, hello, I'm new. Well, you are very welcome to join us here, Kiwi. Thanks for joining us. And thanks to the 5 legends who've already liked this stream. Thank you. I really appreciate that. YouTube appreciates it more. See, their algorithm is like, right, who's live and how many people are interacting with it all. I've got Zinthi Blue Duck as back, one of my now regulars. Zinthi, well, thank you for coming back. Very nice to have you here. We're raising the vibe today. I'm keeping it simple. We've set the space for everybody that's listening in to have raised vibes. We're going to raise your vibration. Raise your vibration. So here's something practical, especially for you guys that are all new to the thread. So I talk about energy a lot, but here's something really practical you could do right here, right now to raise your energy in this second. And it works instantly. Instantly. And Kiwi says, that's the last photo of my cat. Fair play, Kiwi. The message has been retracted. So energy follows thought. And the most practical way to increase your energy and your vibration is to slow down your breathing. So as you listen in, do yourself a massive favor. Start focusing on your breathing and slowing it right down. Because most stressful situations happen when we stop breathing properly. It's impossible to get stressed when you're in a deep breathing state. Our breathing controls our mood. And that's something really practical, whether you want to talk about energy, mental health, practical well-being, quick fix tips. It all comes down to breathing. And if you want to feel better, or at least start to feel better, or set the intention that you're going to feel better, just slow down your breathing. It's always a good place to start. If you're stressed, if you're hyper, it's also a great tip. So one of the things I've done on the journey, I've taught people public speaking skills and pitching skills. And for people that get nervous if they're going up on stage, it happened to me when I was best man at a friend's wedding. I started getting nervous. A great thing to do is just to hold your breath. Because what it does, it starts to regulate your heart rate. The longer that you can hold it, it's like a quick fix way to calm down. So there you go. It's a bit of practical advice to help you with your vibes, my Jedi friends. To help raise your vibration, focus on your breathing. Your breathing controls your mood, and we set the vibe out there. We set the vibe out there. So where is everyone in the house from? Kiwi, I'm guessing that you might be from New Zealand. Are you living in New Zealand? Are you from New Zealand? What are you doing? Where are you? Where in the world? Where in the world is everyone from? Start letting me know where the Jedi Council is congregating from. It's always curious to know what is going on, where you're all from. So Kringle's here from the UK. Well, fair play to you, my Jedi friend. So you're burning the late night oil with me. So yeah, this is for the people in the UK. This is the insomniac thread. Kiwi. Now I have 2 dogs and a bunny. Oh, fair play. Fair play, Kiwi. What dogs have you got? I grew up with German Shepherds. So growing up, we had dogs a lot of the time, but because I do a bit of traveling and I'm not always around, we had to go to cats because they're a little bit lower maintenance on the cats front. But grew up with dogs, used to take them walking everywhere. I had a lot of energy back in that day. So, and we had no mobile phone, so I had nothing better to do than take the dog for a walk and take it running round, take it for runs and stuff like that. So yeah, back in the day. But pets are great. Pets are great for energy, and I certainly find they're definitely sort of spiritually aligned. Certain pets are drawn to certain people for certain reasons on the journey. And you'll know it. You'll know that you feel a deep connection with your pet. They're more your friend. They are your friend. Here's a big reveal, my Jedi friends. So I've been, when I lost my pet dog, I mean, was when I was a kid. I was a lot younger then. I was more upset by that than any other person that I've ever lost in my life. It absolutely devastated me, floored me. That's how close the relationship was, and people that are generally sensitive to energy will feel that. They'll feel it, which is why I don't really get when people when you're dealing with people that are like narcissistic or have no empathy or psychopathic, because they just won't understand why people get upset if anything happens to their pets. So there's a little litmus test if you want to flush out any narcissism or psychopaths in your midst. They usually have no empathy and quite frequently are cruel to animals. So there's a little bit of random information. So since you're all here, my Jedi friends, you're slowing down your breathing now. So let me take you through a practical application of how to raise your vibration from a very practical point of view. So get yourself in a relaxed position. That's always the first place to start. And it's more important that you're comfortable. Now, if you straighten your spine and have your feet close on the sort of flat on the ground, it amplifies the effect, but it's not essential. It's not essential. Then you slow down your breathing, because your breathing controls your mood. And then you ground yourself. I've got Tom Mac, go put the kettle on. Tom, you would do that while I'm doing my energy exercise. I was almost serious there for a moment, Tom. But before I put the kettle on, because I already did put the kettle on, Turkish. Good to see you, Tom. So back to the exercise. Slow down your breathing, get yourself in a comfortable position and ground yourself. If you've got your own method, use that. If not, just imagine a ball of light at the center of the earth, connecting to the base of your spine. And you are energizing, my Jedi friends. And if you want to amplify it now, just imagine a ball of light above you. Now you can do this with the sun, the moon, the stars, the universal grid, God, if that's your thing. Whatever higher source of energy you want to connect with above, just imagine it connecting through the top of your head. It could just be a ball of light above you, and just imagine light going through your body. Now, if you do that, you are energizing right here in the right now. And if you listen to that instruction, you'll be energizing, because energy follows thought. So there we go. I'm glad we're going to be friends. Well, thanks, Kiwi. Always good to meet new people on these random lives that I do. And Tom's in the house now. And one thing I can promise you, now that Tom's in the house, is that the energy of this call is going to go in a much funnier direction. Because me and Tom have a very similar sense of humor. And for everyone to catch up, like if you really want to play catch up here, so some of the time that I do this stuff, I usually start off almost seriously on these threads, but they can go down whatever route I get taken down. Sometimes I get trolls on and it just turns into a trolling contest. Other time we go down rabbit holes. People ask me like really heavy duty, serious questions because the sort of stuff I talk on my channel, I work with people that are usually sensitive to energy, highly empathic, people that are generally sensitive to energy and do good in the world. People that do good, people that like pets, that kind of stuff. And I talk about the challenges that they have in their life. So sometimes I get my regulars on asking me like really serious questions. And other times I get people, we go down a left field journey of comedy. And me and Tom are both Star Wars fans and Snatch fans. That sounds so wrong, doesn't it? We're fans of Snatch. I'm talking about the film, folks, the film. So, and I told Tom that he had to go and watch this edit. Someone on YouTube has done a thing called Snatch Wars. If you look up Snatch Wars, you're in for 10 minutes for an absolute treat. Somebody's taken the villain from Snatch, which is Bricktop, and put his voice on Darth Vader. And if you like alternative comedy, then there's some great comedy there. Some great lines. So you might hear me saying like lines that make no sense. They're probably from Snatch Wars. And that's probably what Tom's going to be throwing out there. Although he's been watching all sorts. It was Lock, Stock the last time. Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels. So what's your latest one, Tom? What have you been watching in the background this time? So yes, the bottom line is anything goes. I set these live streams up so that we can set the space to raise the vibe. So just listening in, whatever your vibe is, you'll raise it as long as you follow the instructions and just sort of vibe with it, because it's designed to be an energy holding space where people can just feel better. Now, some people, they love to troll. They love to come in, love to throw in their comments. I absolutely embrace the trolls. The last time I had a troll in, they started trolling me and I like got loads of comments and the algorithm went mad. The algorithm went actually mad and I got about 8 times more views than I have done on any other live stream that I'd ever done. So YouTube doesn't distinguish between troll comments and people asking genuine questions and getting real value out of the thread. So there you go. So let's have a look. Tom says, Kiwi, I don't care. I'm Muhammad Hard Bruce Lee. That's from Snatch Wars, Kiwi. You'll have to watch it. Okay, Tom Mac. Kiwi, if you haven't seen Snatch Wars, none of this is going to make a lot of sense. But if you do watch Snatch Wars, or if you've watched Snatch the film, all of these quotes from there, but there's some absolute classics there. And we usually have a bit of a laugh when Tom enters the building. So yeah, keeping energy light. And one of the things I talk about, so here's a thing, just popped into my head. I work with people to help them to get through really difficult things in life. They come to me with a life crisis, usually because they can't ask anyone, they can't talk to their family. I work sometimes with CEOs in companies who can't really reflect on their, can't really go to their staff and tell them they're having a meltdown. So, I work with a lot of people just to be the voice of reason for them, and so they can talk through stuff. And some of the stuff that we talk about, I mean, is just that they're surrounded by lunatics, that nobody actually gets them. I work with black sheep. That's effectively what I do. People I work with, they think differently, usually to their family. They think differently, usually to the people at work. And here we go. Tom says, punish him, Harold. More classic lines. But one of the big things is that I talk about is I make people do what I call a feng shui. Feng shui, what's that? And to my knowledge, I'm the one that created the idea of a feng shui. I've never heard it anywhere outside of me. So yeah, Kiwi, if you're referring to Tom's comment, you'd have to watch Snatch Wars. Don't read anything into that until you've seen Snatch Wars. If you're asking me about the feng shui, I shall tell you. I shall tell you right now exactly what it is. So a feng shui is something I do. We keep energy within our phone and we keep them within our contacts list. A lot of people keep a lot of contacts on their phone that they wouldn't really want to phone them. They wouldn't really want people to phone them. So, I say if the number was to come up on your phone or the name, if your phone was to ring and you were to look at it and a name came up on your phone, ask yourself, how would you feel about answering the phone before even having the conversation? Before you even had the conversation, and rate it out of 10. 10 is, oh, it's your bestie and you're going to have a great call and you can't wait to answer the phone. And a 1 is an absolute nightmare. It's an X or somebody is just going to be completely on your case. You're just going to draw your energy. It's going to suck your energy like a vampire, and it happens every time. So you have to rate them between 1 and 10. And what I tell people when I do a feng shui for them is if there's any people that are below a 6, they need to delete the numbers. It's a way, it's called a feng shui. It gets rid of all the nonsense off your phone. And people make all these excuses. Oh, I can't delete that. I'd need to know if they call. Just don't answer the calls to anyone whose name you don't recognize and let them leave a message. Most people won't. Most calls are wasted. So here we are. Let me catch up. Let me go back. Let me go back on the comments. So Tom says he's been watching loads of Father Ted. Father Ted is an absolute legend. Father Ted's one of the funniest things that was ever on. It's just a shame. That the father is actually dead. Ted is dead now. It's dead. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I also saw Ardalo Hanlon, who played Father Dougal. I watched him do live stand-up. He's brilliant. He's actually very good at stand-up comedy. He was also on Murder in Paradise as well. He did a season on that, a couple of seasons on that. That was an interesting role for him. So here we go. We've got Epic Edits is back. Well, thank you for joining us, my epic friend. He says, TVC, hi, and said hi. Well, hi to you, Epic Edits. Thanks for joining us. And Kiwi says, hello, Epic Edits. WSP, what's up? I'm guessing that is. So I'm getting with the lingo. Getting with the lingo on these chats now. Fair play. Epic Edits has been here before. Has joined me on one of my lives. So epic to give you the catch up. We're just creating a space to raise our vibe. And whoever's sending in all the good emojis, kudos to you as well, my Jedi friends. They're all appreciated. Let's have a look. Linzarella, lurking in the shadows, enjoying a listen to the chat and going with the flow. Hi, everyone. Well, good to have you here, Linzarella. Linzarella is one of the Jedis that's been through one of my Jedi training academies. And she is up in Liverpool. Up in Liverpool. Well, Liverpool did well today, didn't they? I bet it kicked off in Liverpool. So for anyone else that doesn't understand what I'm talking about, we're talking about the UK football here. And I am a Liverpool fan. And Liverpool played Arsenal today. And Arsenal are one of the contenders for the championship that we won last season. And it was a pretty boring game, blessed by one absolutely amazing free kick that was the difference. So Liverpool won 1-0 against Arsenal. So even though the game was really boring, it doesn't matter because we beat Arsenal. So it's good vibes. That was good vibes for all Liverpool fans. Absolutely. Let's have a look. Epic Edit says, I was very sick. I couldn't go to your over lives. To your over lives. I'm not quite sure what that means. It sounds like it might be a typo, Epic. Your over lives. Linzarella says, they did, Adam. Good game. It was good at the end, though. Yeah, I wouldn't say it was one of the best games I saw. So I don't know what's happening with Mo Salah this season. He's looking a little bit dodgy. He's looking a little bit dodgy. And Tom says he's from Liverpool and he hates it here. You're not an Everton fan, are you, Tom? You'd hate it if that was the case. That would make anyone hate being in Liverpool today. Although Everton, they're looking actually all right at the moment. In fairness, like they played well yesterday and got the points. So yeah, they're looking like they may have done all right. And Lindsarella says protest galore, lol. Well, I think there's a lot of protests going on up and down the country at the moment because of the lunacy that's happening in the UK. We are lunatic central over here, my Jedi friends. We are living in the asylum right now. We've got some lunatic in charge, an absolute nutter. I mean, they must have escaped. He must have escaped the asylum. Hopefully they will sedate him and send him back to the secure ward soon before he does any more damage. Before he does any more damage. Let's have a look. Tom says, full of smackheads. I'm not sure if I told you, Tom. I know I mentioned it on one of the live streams, but one of the funniest things, I've had a few trips to Liverpool and we went there once, me and a couple of friends, and we're going back years ago. I'll tell you how long ago it was. It was just after Channel 5 launched. It was about a year after Channel 5 first launched. So that's how long ago it was. And I just got myself my first ever video camera. And we decided to take it around Liverpool and tell everyone we were from Channel 5. And it was one of the funniest things. My only regret about that is that I lost the video because it would have been pure gold. It would have gone viral, definitely, on some of the stuff. I couldn't have put it up because, I mean, we had people owning up to like criminal activity. So, I mean, I couldn't ever have put the full version out. But what a night. What a night pretending to be Channel 5. I'll tell you a little story as well. We were in at the end, at the later stage of the evening. We were in boogie nights in Liverpool, and somebody saw us. They saw the camera, and somebody had told them that we were the film crew. And with this guy come over in the middle, we were just dancing. He says he wants to be on camera. He says, please, I'd love to be on camera. I want to be on camera. We're like, look, we stopped filming. We're just here to dance now. He goes, I'll do anything. He says, I'll do anything to be on camera. I'll do anything. I'll tell you what, I'll set light to me pubes. And we thought he was joking. He said, look, get that camera out. I'll set light to me pubes. And we thought he was joking. So I took the camera out. This guy absolutely did. He pulled his trousers down. He set light to his pubic hair, except it caught onto his chest hair. I mean, this guy set himself alight at the pub or the club, and the smell of pubic hair burning, you really don't want that. But I didn't know what to do. I was too busy laughing. I mean, this guy, I mean, he didn't burn for long. I mean, we're talking like a couple of seconds. So it wasn't like I was there watching him burn. But I mean, he only meant to burn a small section and ended up burning half of his chest hair off. It was one of the funniest things. So that was the lengths that people would go to in Liverpool to get on camera for a Channel 5 documentary. And we weren't even a Channel 5 documentary. So you've got to love it. You've got to absolutely love it. And Tom says, I'd love to see that video. Yeah, I would too, Tom. I mean, it was a brilliant night. We had such fun pretending to be camera crew. Because there were some people that didn't believe us, and we was like, all right, don't believe us. You're not fucking camera crew. All right, we're not. And then we went and started filming other people. And then people that said that we weren't the film, they was following us around saying, you're not the camera. Yeah, we went the other way, said, yeah, you're right, we're not. Anyway, can we interview you? It was good fun. It was good fun. Kiwi said it's his best live. Tom says it's nuts around here. And Linzarella's got a couple of smiley, laughy faces. So yeah, it was good fun. I've had some good fun times up there. I mean, I know it can be dodgy if you go in the wrong place, but anyway, it can at the moment, let's face it. There's hotels up and down the country that are well dodgy, folks. Well dodgy, some of these hotels that we're seeing at the moment popping up all over the country, especially in Essex. They don't like it. They don't like it. They're out on the streets protesting. And the judge has told them, stop it. There's nothing to protest here. There's nothing to protest here. Just let your kids get sexually molested by these fine residents, because they, after coming over on a boat, they need all the help they can get adjusting to the culture. And I laugh, folks, not because I think it's genuinely funny, just because of the degree of lunacy that we've got in this country right now. It's so lunatic, it's the only thing to do. Because we want to keep the vibe high on this. Let's have a look. We've got Lauren Kern here. What's your OnlyFans? Why are you interested, Lauren? Have I got a fan? Have I got a real fan here? Well, there you go. There's a request you don't get every day. Lauren's getting fruity on the thread here. And Tom said, I had some fella asking me to buy a shark. He gets a bucket of water. That doesn't surprise me. Doesn't surprise me. And Lynn Zarella says, energy kink. Well, whatever you're into. You know, I suppose at this time of the night, you're going to get all comers, literally. If it's OnlyFans, it'll be full of all comers. Never know who's going to show up on these lives, do we? We really don't know who's going to show up on the lives, but, you know, whatever you're into, folks, we don't judge here. We're not going to be judging anyone on this live stream. So, you know, go for your life, folks. Ask away. Ask me anything. AMA. I'll have to get Lauren to set me up an OnlyFans page. That's obviously the way forward. That's the way forward, my Jedi friends. Well, there's something that that I didn't expect, but I should be prepared for all these things that you don't expect. Expect nothing on these live threads. So hopefully, my Jedi friends, your vibe has been raised. Hopefully it's been raised. Hopefully you're feeling just a little bit better through having joined this thread today. That was my intention. Nothing else. Nothing more. Oh, I've got something in my eye. Don't know what it is. Oh, I don't know where that came from. Some mysterious force. Some mysterious force of nature. Must have came down. So there you go. You never know what's going to turn up. What mysterious forces will join us for this thread, my Jedi friends? We are amplifying the energy. We're holding space. I brought in my spirit guides just to amplify things, just to step it up. We can take all the support we can get and have some fun. So there you go, my Jedi friends. I feel like we may have reached the conclusion on today's little live stream. It has been a blast. Unless anyone's got anything they want to share or ask or go with the flow or any other things that you want to add, I think we're probably going to curtail this, because I'm looking at the clock now. Look, we're almost 25 minutes to midnight or round about that sort of thing. And I'm sure you have busy lives if you're here in the UK, or you're like me, you probably stay up an extra hour or two. Tom says, take it easy, mate. You too, Tom. Always good to have you on the thread and the light energy you bring to it. I'm going to have to start watching a couple of reruns of Father Ted myself, because that is an absolute quality series. It's a quality series. And I may even have a gratuitous rewatch of Snatch Wars just for some fun. Just for some fun. Not to mention the Star Wars with Nail and I mixes. They're always good for a laugh. And for anyone here, if you haven't watched the Death Star Canteen, the Lego Death Star Canteen, that's one of Eddie Izzard's bests. So Lynn says, what's your perspective on the planet right now? On an energetic level, do you think we're having chaos before the calm? So It's a good question, Lynn. I mean, we're definitely getting the chaos. I mean, you don't need to be energetically attuned to know that there's something really chaotic, really quite dark and malevolent going on at the moment. And it's like a jolt. I'll tell you what this is. Most of us are asleep, living some sort of mad Truman show. Now, I could be a lunatic. You might not agree with what I say, but we live in some mad Truman show, and the people in charge are just getting madder and madder and madder. And it's like, where is the limit? Where is the limit for the madness? How mad is it going to get? And this is the wake up time. It's time for us to wake up. So, with what's happening on the planet now, yeah, there is chaos. I'm not sure we'll ever have true calm, not as a planet, but what we might have is inner calm within ourselves. Because if there's one thing that all of this chaos is designed to do, is to help us to up our game, to find peace within, regardless what madness is going on in the rest of the world. And that's the energy game here. Take control of your own energy, get that right, and then start worrying about what you can do to help the rest of the world. You can help the rest of the world by keeping your own vibration high. That is the game for people that are sensitive to energy and empaths. Always the same. And in your case, getting rid of the mad family and getting rid of the mad job, that was a great starting point. The mad neighbor, well, that's that's the next step. That is the next step. But all of these lunatics are attracted in your life to encourage you to find the tools to find your own inner calm, regardless what's going on in the rest of the world. That is the game. Tom says, drink, drink, drink. That'll do it too. And Lynn says, I'm working on the neighbour lol. Well, it is. You know the score, Lynn. You're going to get challenged. I mean, in your case, you had to be pushed to the point where you allowed yourself to get angry. Because most people that are sensitive to energy think that anger is a bad thing, when in actual fact, it's a catalyzing good thing. It's a wake up call. If you've been experiencing rising anger, you have to respect it. Anger is only your body, your energy in motion telling you that something is profoundly wrong in your world and you need to change something. That you absolutely not just need to change, you have to change it. So it will go from discontent to annoyance to irritation to anger. It'll go to absolute anger. And anger happens when something's wrong, but you don't do anything about it. And this is what we talked about with stuff like tolerance. So tolerance is a terrible energy. You know my thoughts on tolerance, but for anyone that's new on the thread here, tolerance is one of the worst things that you can experience in life. Because tolerance is the absolute knowing that something is profoundly wrong, but the decision to do nothing about it based on whatever. So yeah, don't tolerate any nonsense. That's what I would say. And hopefully that's it. And Kiwi said hi. So, well, hi, Kiwi. And for me, I'm going to say goodbye because it has been an interesting evening. And yes, for anyone that's listening in, that's wondering what lunacy is happening on the planet, keep your vibration high. Keep your vibration high. You can't change what everyone else does. You can't change what's happening on the planet right now. There's a ton of stuff you can't change. But the one thing that you are absolute master and commander of, and that is your own energy space. And everything I cover on this channel is about taking control of that. Forget everything else. Forget trying to influence others. Forget trying to change other people. The person that you have to change the most is you. And if you don't do that, then none of the other stuff matters. So there you go, something slightly serious to finish things off on this one, folks. Hopefully you get that message because that's the most important one of all. So let's have a look. Oh, I've got Dean Martin has jumped on just as I was going to, sign off, and he's put, "You change your hair, pal." Well, ironically, Dean, I do change my hair quite a lot. I've got an excellent selection of wigs that I use for my drinking weekends away with the boys and the girls sometimes that join us on there for the alter ego nights, which I sometimes indulge myself in. So there you go. But this is not one of those nights, Dean. So I'm afraid that you're not going to get to see that. Not on this thread, not on this live. But thanks for asking. And Linzarella says, good night, Adam. Good night, Linz. It's been a pleasure. To everyone else that's late to the party, I was just signing off before Dean jumped on. So thanks for joining the thread, Dean, and thanks for your questions. Thanks everybody that joined me on this live. I hope that you managed to keep your vibe high. Keep your vibe high, my Jedi friends, and don't let anybody else ruin your energy. Remember, you are in control of it, and nobody can steal your energy without your permission. So there you go. There's a little parting shot for you all. I hope that you all have a very energizing week, and I shall do another random live at some impromptu moment this week. So if you want more of the same, then do subscribe to the channel, and I shall see you soon. I shall see you soon, my Jedi friends.